Hello people, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. This is Sorins and today we're going to talk about the trade-in spring garage skipping event. What vehicles are worth to get at tier 7. So starting off with the 8015, we have a vehicle, a tank destroyer from Great Britain that, well, it's a bit unreliable to its tier 7 counterpart, which is the 87. The Tech 3 variant has a better gun and worse armor. I could say this gun is the same gun as you'll have yourself on the AC4 and the Sherman. So pretty much you're having a tier 6 gun, a tier 7, and on a tank destroyer, so you cannot really rely on it. It's a 150 alpha damage. You have much better armor than the 87, but you are slow, you are pretty much unreliable. Maybe versus tier 7 and tier 6s you can do good, but avoid the 8015A, it's not really that good. The same goes to the FE201A45. This vehicle is more of a collector vehicle. It's the same as I mentioned before, the AC4, the Sherman, and the 8015A. So 150 alpha damage on a tier 7 heavy is not gonna be trading that well with mediums, for example, or not even with light tanks, because some light tanks are having 180 alpha damage, for example, like the LTG has. So avoid this one as well if you're not a collector. Next, the IS-2M. This vehicle is actually decent. Well, it's your typical IS, so there is nothing really much I can say. The M, I believe, has a bit better armor, but it's still an IS, plays like an IS, so it's completely a premium IS. If you don't have already an IS, then I don't know, you can get one, but I don't recommend this one because there is the IS-2S, there is the other variants, so there are plenty of ISs, so this one is just a copy-paste. Next, the King Tiger. This vehicle used to be the same as the TS54. You had to have the subscription, you had to have Amazon Prime, I think, to get yourself the loot. And therefore you could get this vehicle as a rental for 30 days for paying the subscription. Now I have this vehicle for free. I think Wargaming just gave it to everyone when they removed it from the subscription, or I don't know how you could get it. Maybe there was an event or something that you had to complete to get it, but the vehicle itself, it's like a Tiger 2, but worse at tier 7. You don't have that. Actually, you do have quite a reliable gun. You have 203 penetration on your AP rounds, so it's much better than the IS-2, for example. So, in my playstyle, I kind of enjoy it, but at the same time, it's 240 alpha damage, and your chicks are not the best, but it's still pretty decent vehicle. I mean, it's unique. It's like the tier 8 but a tier 7, so and on top of that it's American, so yeah, you can have an American Tiger. Next, the Krupp Steyr. It's avoid this vehicle. You don't really want to play it. It's occasional. I mean, in this instance you can do better in the E25. This one, it's not armored. You have an okay gun, but an okay mobility, but obviously you have no armor. It's occasional, as I mentioned. You need to know how to play it, so it's not gonna be possibly for everyone. Next, the KV-122. Avoid this vehicle. The gun handling is much worse than the ISs, for example. I don't know why. Plus your armor is not holding up as well as the KV-3 does. So yeah, the KV-122 is once again an avoid. The M56 Scorpion, I kind of like this vehicle. I have it. It's really good that you have a really reliable gun. You have 219 penetration on your AP and 275 on your hit, so you can deal with your 9s as well pretty decently. The only thing that you weigh like 7 tons and you have 1 millimeter of armor, everyone can ram you for full hit points. So you need to know what you're doing. And on top of that, I don't know, I feel like the vehicle is a bit slow for its size, so as I mentioned, if you know how to play those kind of lightly armored vehicles, that you know how to reposition, to use the bush mechanics, you also have a actually it's not fully rotatable, it's 30 to the left or 30 to the right, so something like that. So you can use yourself the binoculars if you really want. Next, the Panther M10. It's kind of decent. I think it's better than the Panda just because you have armor. You also have preferential matchmaking, I think. You never meet your 9s. So Yeah, if you want a little German tank that is better than probably the Tech 3 variant, the Panther M10 is probably for you. Next, we have a vehicle that is very aggressive in its playstyle, the SU-12244. I really want to get myself this vehicle, but obviously I don't want to spend the money. It's this vehicle is a true meme. You have such a good DPM. You have to be so aggressive. You have to fire. You have to fight at close distances, and you can just shred your enemies if they are lower tiers as well. This is like you have, I think, 3000 DPM at tier 7. So yeah, plus obviously you have the same gun as I have on the IS2, so 175 pen with 217 on gold, 390 alpha damage, and yeah, you don't really snipe with this vehicle just because the gun is so bad, plus you don't have the mass gun depression. The upper plate works only versus tier 7s and 6s, so yeah, the tank it's good to have fun sometimes, but it's not really the most reliable. The same as I can say to the T26 E3 Eagle 7, this vehicle it's the same as a Patton, but at tier 7. I personally don't like it. I don't like the pattern, but if you like the, actually not the pattern, sorry, the Pershing. If you really like the Pershing, well, probably this vehicle is for you. In terms of the everything, I feel like the T20, it's, I'm having more fun in the T20 than probably I'll have in this vehicle. So yeah, this is not my typical kind of medium tank. And last, the VK43 4503. Avoid this vehicle. This vehicle it's probably worse than the King Tiger, and yeah, but by this point, why would you play at tier 7 when you can buy yourself a tier 8? So yeah, the VK is just, I don't know, it just feels unreliable. It's probably as bad as I can say a FV21 A45. So yeah, the VK, you should avoid this vehicle as well. And yeah, this was the release pretty much, and I will see you later with the tier 8, which probably is gonna be a long video. So yeah, thank you for watching guys, and I will see you around.